you want your players to feel like they have a chance to win the game. If a player just flat out came out and said that they didn't think they had a shot, you wouldn't feel good. That's normally why in press conferences, you'll hear players say things like, if we execute the game plan, we'll put ourselves in a position to win. And I trust the guys on our team to make plays. Vague, coach-speak statements that inspire confidence without giving the other team any bulletin board material. But sometimes, you'll have the players who make guarantees. You'll have the players who say that they're definitely going to win the game. It worked for Joe Namath when he guaranteed a victory at Super Bowl III. And when it works, you look like a genius. But when it doesn't work, you look like a bumbling fool. So with that being said, this is the story of the time that Carl Pickens, playing on one of the worst teams in football, guaranteed a victory against the two-time defending NFC champions. Carl Pickens was a wide receiver on the Cincinnati Bengals in the 1990s. In 1997, the Bengals started off with an abysmal 1-7 record. After defeating the Cardinals on opening day, they lost 7 straight. But to their credit, they bounced back, ending the season by winning 6 of their final 8 games to finish a respectable 7-9. They started 1-1 through their first 2 games of the 1998 season, meaning that in their last 10, they were 7-3. That's pretty good, and arguably the best that the Bengals have ever looked during that bungle period that they had during the decade. Following a 34-28 victory over the Detroit Lions, Pickens was feeling confident. In fact, he was so confident that in a press conference with reporters a few days before their Week 3 matchup, he guaranteed a victory. He said, "We're going to be in the locker room having a big old party, having fun, because we're going to beat the Green Bay Packers." There's just one small problem with that statement where you describe your locker room party. Aside from the fact that having a giant party for winning a Week 3 regular season game already makes you seem kinda desperate. The Packers were good. They were really good. Ever since Brett Favre was named the opening day starter in 1993, they made it to the postseason in all 5 years. In 1996, they won Super Bowl 31. In 1997, they won the NFC and they made it to Super Bowl 32. And to start off the 1998 season, Green Bay was 2-0. In Green Bay's previous 40 games, including the playoffs, they were 33-7. I don't think this is the team you want to be boldly guaranteeing a victory against. So just to recap, you've got the 90s Bungles guaranteeing a victory over the 2-time defending NFC champion Green Bay Packers. Take a wild guess as to what team won that game. Unsurprisingly, it was the Packers. Green Bay wound up going into Synergy Field and winning 13-6. Cincinnati had the ball 11 times that game. They punted 8 times, kicked 2 field goals, and turned it over on downs once. In the second half, the Bengals scored no points, and on their final 4 drives, picked up no first downs. Pickens was held in check, recording 6 receptions for 58 yards. After the game, naturally, the Packer players let him have it. Darren Sharper, the hardest-hitting safety in the league, said that his picking wasn't too good. All that talking doesn't mean nothing to us. We don't talk on the field. Green Bay made it to the postseason yet again, while Cincinnati lost 9 of their final 11 games to finish the season with a 3-13 record, dead last in the AFC Central. What's the lesson from all of this? Guaranteeing a victory looks stupid when it doesn't work. It looks especially stupid when you're a bad team guaranteeing a victory against a good team. And it looks even stupider when you wind up doing absolutely nothing during the game. Carl Pickens was a good player, but he's no Joe Namath. Special thanks to all our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a Patreon in the description below.